What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO Bulls pod coming up for y'all right around the corner. We roll along with our individual player grades for the 24-25 Bulls season. We're talking some of the young core, Pat, Dalen, Julian, plus the latest of some crazy NBA action, playoff style, over the weekend. Next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. Bam! BAWL Sports. Will the Go Golly perfectly coiffed. The beer's looking good. Will_Golly.
Damn, the shadow back already.
Dude.
Damn, all right. It's impressive.
It is. Queen of the Controls, one and only Katie Duffy. What up, Katie?
Hello.
Happy Monday, everybody. We are 1 week away from the NBA draft lottery and finding out if the Bulls will cash in on their, 8% odds of jumping into the top 4?
5 more days to get a tankathon spin.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Give this man at least one tank spin based on likes acquired this week, y'all.
Can we make like some sort of special exception, Katie, where it can be fewer likes, or can we just do a tank spin? I mean, we got 5 days.
That man's fiending.
Man, I really don't want to give in.
That brother's starving.
But so let me think about it.
Tyson Rolando in the comments just said holding tankathon spins hostage for a lack of likes is a new level of evil. It always makes the show more fun this time of year. Well,
yeah, hey. I was halfway through typing a reply to him, and my reply was nothing like a hostage situation to energize the show.
Sure. Yes.
Energize the show. Oh, man.
Let's just go full Liam Neeson tomorrow. Rex Smith saying have to work, but hitting the thumbs up. Shout out to everybody.
Appreciate you, Rex.
Though everyone should. Yes, that's right. Everyone should hit that like button.
Please
do your job.
Before we dive into some more of our player grades for this season, we're talking about a few of the young guys who could or could not be one of those key 9 to 10 good players AK keeps talking about. Mm-hmm. Before that, though, rounding up some NBA playoff action over the weekend, we saw a couple of Game 7s. Nuggets beat the Clippers emphatically. That run they had, spanning most of the third quarter, my goodness. The Warriors send the Rockets home. The Rockets, the 2 seed, go home early. Also, an epic series there. We also got our first taste of the conference semis over the weekend with the Pacers upsetting the Cavs in Game 1. Obviously, big storyline there is the lack of Darius Garland for Game 1 of that series, and if and when he might return in this series to give the Cavs that boost. But, gentlemen, what was your most exciting or biggest takeaway from that weekend of NBA playoffs?
Oh, man. I guess we'll start in the East. I've talked about the Pacers a million times on the show and just how I felt they weren't being talked about enough. And I talked about it in round 1 because people thought they weren't even going to win that series. And I didn't understand the disrespect. And then watching the Tyrese Halliburton disrespect of him being called overrated and all of that, I'm like, they were literally in the conference finals last year, and they didn't do anything to get worse. So I didn't understand the correlation, and they came out and they look ready. They look super ready, and I love how they took the best shot of the Cavs from the Cavs and still were able, to come back. And Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton and my man, I'm forgetting his name right now. Yes,
he had a solid
ton of big shots, man. And just everybody came together. Obi Toppin finding his role, it was really important also for them. And also great coaching as well, not by the ball-headed minutes, though. But, yeah, man, I think they deserve more respect, honestly. They are a really good basketball team, and they continue to prove it. They went into an absolutely insane arena in Cleveland, man, and came out with the victory. Like, that's the win. That's what you want when you're going on the road, is to come out with at least one of those victories. And now they have a shot to go up, too, because I watched Cleveland, get injured, a little bit more in that game. Final point about it, Evan Mobley has to be great in this series. He cannot be good. He has to be great in this series if they're going to win this game. So I want to put that challenge on him. I know Donovan Mitchell was going to, but there's a reason Ty Jerome was second in most shots on that team, and that cannot happen. Evan Mobley, I'm looking at you. You're the all-star, sir. You're the one. Defensive player of the year. You have to be great in this series if Cleveland's going to move on.
Yeah, Ty Jerome took 20 shots. Yeah. And Mobley was efficient. He had a 20-10 night, 9 of 13.
No.
But you're saying
no,
only 13.
Yes, only 13, and I'm going to need at least 28. I'm going to need 32. Like, I need greatness, bro. I want greatness in this series from you. And you can do it. That's why I'm calling them out.
Well, and Garland listed as questionable for game 2, but also DeAndre Hunter dislocated his thumb during the game. Evan Mobley tweaked his left ankle. So the Cavs are facing some injuries, and they've got great depth. They've got great versatility, but this is going to test it for sure because the Pacers are one of those teams like the Bulls who just run so much, and they really put pressure on you with their pace and their tempo. And so I think that can be a really hard thing for, any team to keep up with, but especially when you're missing bodies, especially when your rotation is already shortened, as happens in the playoffs. That's going to be a tough one. And now they have home court advantage in the series. So, I don't think I'm like surprised that the Cavs are down just with the way that they played. Donovan Mitchell was like 1 for 11 from 3, I think.
Yeah.
But the Pacers really feel like they're in the driver's seat now, picking up a road win and with the injury stuff. This could be trouble for Cleveland. And not saying they can't win, even in spite of that, but this is a good spot for the Pacers.
Yeah.
If they end up missing, in addition to Garland, any combined time and or games from Hunter and Mobley, that could spell trouble. But yeah, kudos to the Pacers for stealing game 1. In the West, obviously a series a lot of people talked about is likely going 7 games was Nuggets Clippers. We do get all the way to game 7. And the Nuggets, maybe it's the championship experience. Maybe it's another James Harden playoff do-or-die flop of a game. A lot of people were talking about that on the NBA Twitter sphere over the weekend. Yeah. The Nuggets find a way to win, despite the fact that Michael Porter Jr. is playing with one arm. They're asking more than ever of Joker in that MVP role. But, I mean, just an emphatic performance from them. And credit to some of their role players for stepping up when they were the biggest question mark for the Nuggets all season long. Christian Brown is proving that he is every bit a part of this Nuggets team.
Without a doubt, man. I thought it was the role players in the first half for Denver that did their thing. And also, big shout out to Russell Westbrook. He shot 43% from 3 in this series. So he was awesome for them. And then also the effort and all the other stuff that comes with it. When the shot is falling, we know he's a special kind of player, Hall of Fame kind of basketball player. Yeah, James Harden, just ridiculous.
Like 7 points.
Ridiculous.
On
man.
2 of 8.
That's
like clockwork with this guy.
It's so disappointing. Like, I lose words sometimes because it's so disappointing. This dude is so good, and I really am one of the few people that enjoy watching James Harden and his style of basketball because he broke the game. He really did. But it does not ever carry over to when it's supposed to carry over to. And there's a whole thing behind him to say, hey, this is exactly why. Because it just seems he gets disinterested, and he makes crazy passes and bad turnovers. And, just I don't know why he does it that way. If I was a coach and I saw it happen, he would have came and had a seat next to me, like for real. But yeah, man, it's disappointing. And I'm sure Steve Ballmer and all the fans were disappointed as well. And I'm sure Emma is disappointed in the way they played.
And what's crazy is like Jokic didn't even, 16, 10, and 8, pretty pedestrian by his standards. I thought Zubats defended him better than just about anybody I've ever seen try to defend Jokic. And that's really who the Clippers were and who they were built around was like an elite defensive team. Obviously like Kawhi, Zubats, Chris Dunn, that's a core of like just incredible defenders. But really even through their rotation, you've got basically Harden, I think gets not a lot of credit for being a good defender, but he's pretty solid on switches and in the post. Norman Powell's probably their worst defender in their starting lineup, which like says a lot. Derek Jones in there as well. So they were a really fun team, an interesting team, but yeah, they just didn't have enough. And I actually thought they were going to win that series in 6. And like with that Aaron Gordon put back at the buzzer,
changed it.
I think that one really changed it. And it just felt like even in those first 2 games that the Nuggets won, it didn't feel like they deserved to win. But that's like the resolve of a championship team. Like they pull a couple out, that you're not supposed to win, and then they can finish it off the way that they're supposed to. So obviously great series from them. And yeah, this Nuggets OKC with the top 2 MVP candidates right now should be a lot of fun.
Sure.
And shifting to that other series that did go 7 out west in the first round, Dreads in the comments said, it's like Harden never left Houston the way that Jalen Green played. Jalen Green also had himself a rough game 7 for the Rockets in their losing effort. 8 points on 3 of 8 from the field. Similar stat line to Harden there, although he also, Harden at least put up 13 dimes. Jalen Green, I think, used the 4-letter word that starts with S to describe his own performance after that game. And it was one of definitely 2, maybe 3, just like subpar performances from Green in this series. Yeah. And people are talking about the Rockets as like, you're the 2 seed, you get bounced like that. Warriors, obviously, playoff experience of that core, and also Jimmy Butler with plenty of his own playoff experience added to that core, shine through. People talking about like what happens now if you're Houston. What do you need to do to tweak this roster? Is it just, well, okay, learning experience, everyone who is good and young on this team, whether it be Jalen Green or Şengün or Thompson, will continue to improve, or do you need to do something drastic and add a star to these young guys who can't seem to get over that playoff hump?
I'll save the trades for Will to go Gottlieb. There's also with James Harden, he had 13 assists, 10 of those were in the first half.
True.
As far as that series, that game, Matt, I spent the least amount of time watching it because when the first quarter was going on, I was like, oh, this game's over. Like I could see it. You could just see it. The pace was all about the Warriors. They dictated everything. The pace was super slow, which is what older championship teams like to do. Slow it down, get the shots they want, and then play really solid defense. And the Rockets let them come in and dictate the pace that they wanted. And also, I knew Buddy Hield would have a great game. But Steph Curry led the Warriors in points, rebounds, and assists in that series. There was only one person on the Warriors who had a double-double, and it was Steph Curry. Like, he was phenomenal, man. And as you know, and I say this to Will a million times, I love watching greatness. I say it to you a million times. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. So now I'm looking at the Warriors and I'm like, man, how far can they go? Because I would love to get into some real interesting discussions if Steph Curry is able to complete this task this season. But yeah, man, like you could just tell from the onset of the game, they just really imposed their will on that young team. And that's all it was for me, just a young team in their first game 7. And yeah, they're going to be better. I'm not worried about them though.
Well, what's interesting, you say that because you're absolutely right that they dictated the pace. This is the same Warriors team that 10 years ago was running everybody out the gym, hitting threes, like getting up and down. And they are so talented and they are so versatile that they can win both ways. And so I think you're absolutely spot on. Steph only 3 points in the first half. 1 3 that he made was like on a prayer right at the very end. So I think that speaks to how well Houston defended him the entire series. I've never seen anybody guard him the way Amen Thompson did. Just basically face guarding him full court. The Rockets zone was incredible. The way that they were able to like hand him off and basically have like a body and somebody else's arm on him at all times, grabbing him, holding him, just making him uncomfortable. And so it was about other guys stepping up and making shots. Draymond hit 2 threes. Jimmy, not like a tremendous game for him, but he was solid and made some big plays down the stretch. I think he had like 4 points to kind of extend the lead up to 20 there at the end. But then Steph happened and he just like the floodgates opened and he did what he does, got up to 22 points and just really took over in that second half and was just too much for, as you're saying, Dave, an inexperienced Houston team that I think has a ton of potential. I think is going to be a really good team in this league for the next 5-7 years. But right now it's just Warriors were able to persevere.
Giannis trade?
Yeah, I feel like they could be a Giannis suitor for sure. They've got the pieces. They've got a ton of draft picks. They've got like Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, guys that were not really major parts of the rotation, if at all. I mean, Tari played 16 minutes in that game, but that was pretty much it. So you could put some interesting pieces down. Jalen Green's got a good salary to help match and a ton of draft picks that they can move. So, I mean, if you're Houston, you're able to keep Amen Thompson, Şengün together and go get Giannis, like that's pretty scary stuff. And like the athleticism there, the versatility, the rim pressure, the defense, like that's what they should be looking at.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's coming to the Bulls, obviously. We got to knock out a couple of ads when we come back. We'll dive into the grades for one young Patrick Williams.
Oh, man.
Brace yourselves and hit that like button. Today's show brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers can now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 after signing up. And win or lose that $5 bet, don't matter. You're going to see that $150 in bonus bets hit your account either way. Just don't forget to use that promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. And for all of these NBA playoff games we're watching, with the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 20 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So what are you waiting for? Again, download that app and be sure to use that promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. We got a couple of epic game ones on deck tonight. If you've been thinking about creating that Bet365 app, tonight's the night to do it and get some fun bets in. We got a bunch of stars. We got the two MVP frontrunners and Joker and SGA clashing in game one of that Thunder Nuggets series.
Yeah.
So much fun. So many wonderfully entertaining things and ideas to come up with some bets on. And the good news on those bonus bets, all $150 worth of them, is that you can use them on just about everything. Spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older if you or someone you know has a gambling problem. Crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in app only.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it real for a second.
Real.
If you've ever tried to buy a home, get a loan, or just deal with money stuff in general, you know that it can be a lot. It's okay. It's all right. Nobody hit a nerve in there. It's all right. But that's why I'm here to tell you about the Rate app, ladies and gentlemen, and it's seriously a game changer. You can get pre-approved for a mortgage in minutes. That's a snap. Without the need to jump through a million hoops. Not even jump through 100 hoops. Just get the app, and it'll make it very simple for you. And if you're thinking about a home equity loan or a personal loan, you can secure one under 15 days. Told you, ain't a lot of hoops here. The Rate app also helps you find the best homeowners and auto insurance based on what you actually need. The whole thing is powered by AI. Matt likes it, though. So it's smart, and it saves you time and money, and that's why he likes it. And something that is an unexpected bonus. They have added over 800 free wellness videos. Stuff like meditation, breathing exercises, stretching, basic tools to help you feel better mentally and physically for your brain and your mind too. So if you're stressed out about a loan or a mortgage or, just life in general, just let the Rate app handle it. And once they got you covered, you can go hit one of those free wellness videos and chill. It's the one app that helps you with both your wallet and your well-being. Download the Rate app today to get started. Rate.com. Get that Rate app. Look at that QR code looking all sexy there. Scan it. Get it. Rate.com.
Scan it. Get it.
And then when you're done, hit the like so that we can do a tankathon
Hit
spin.
that like.
Oh.
Goat needs a tank spin, y'all.
Oh, he's fiending.
We're getting there.
He's fiending.
Hit that like if you
more
haven't done it
days,
yet.
baby.
We roll along CHGO Bulls on a Monday. All right, guys, it is time. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty, the role players, the guys who we are questioning whether or not they are a part of AK's grand vision of building a championship roster with 9 to 10 very good players. Patrick Williams, fresh off a new contract he signed last summer. Gentlemen, we did do a Prove It segment of one of our Prove It episodes on Pat leading into this season. We have to revisit it.
Do we?
It's not going to be pretty, but we got to revisit it. Let's take a look at what we asked of Pat this season before it began. I wanted to see his usage percentage eclipse 20 for the first time in his career. It did not. He fell shy by 3 points. He had a usage percentage of 16.9 this season. So, swing and a miss on that one. It was, however, still a career high. He improved his previous career high from the 23-24 season of 16.6 to 16.9, but not the substantial jump that I was looking for. Goat, you asked him to essentially replicate the strong month of December he had in the 23-24 season before getting hurt. And a quick rundown of what those numbers were. He averaged in December of 2023, 14 points a game on very impressive 52, 50, 71 shooting splits, 4.4 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 1.6 steals. The only thing he managed to replicate and or improve upon was the assist numbers. When you look at Pat's overall season numbers this year, he finished with 2 assists per game. So he barely got that one, but 14 points per game? Nah, how about 9?
He said, nah.
Shooting splits of 52, 50, 71? How about 39.7, 35.3, and 72? 4.4 rebounds per game? How about a career low 3.8?
Really? Wow.
1.6 combined steals and blocks? How about 1.3?
Oh, man.
And Dave, you're no excuses to her.
Yeah.
How many tickets were sold?
Oh, man. Look, demand was high before the season started, you know, and then the album came out. I told him not to drop the album, to just go on tour. But then he dropped the album. People weren't feeling the album. And, you know, they just, we had to cancel the tour midway through to save ourselves on this, man. And it was sad because we really had an awesome tour set up, man. Just the fireworks. And it was going to be a bunch of cool appearances and everything, man. Like, we really had it set up. But he was like, no, I just want to stand on stage and play my guitar. And I'm like, that's not going to work as a stadium thing unless you're Taylor Swift, and even she got explosions. But he wasn't feeling it. He just wanted all acoustic stuff. And, we just disagreed on the vision. And then fans just weren't feeling it at all. And they said, we're not showing up. So we had to cancel the tour midway through, man. Probably the quickest tour cancellation in the history of my fake tours. So, I'm pretty sad about it. It was upsetting. We'll see about next season, man. We got some work to do.
Can I just say on the December 2023 stat line thing, like, that was what AK sold him on. He was like, Patrick Williams was on a tear in the month of December. That's why he got the contract.
Receipts.
And so, to me, like,
that's a good call.
It wasn't like, I think 14 points per game is like, you know, the pinnacle, right? But just like, can you get to that level of consistency? And look, I mean, he was averaging 10 points a game basically every single season of his career. And so that was a step forward for him. Again, it's not like that's some sort of all-star caliber number. And I wasn't even expecting the percentages to be that high.
Right. Those percentages are pretty lofty.
Can you just produce a little bit more? And coming into the season, the expectation was DeMar's gone. Zach obviously coming back, but ultimately was traded. Like, there is more runway now. The Bulls are going to play faster. They're going to play more free. There's more runway for him to be able to produce, have the ball in his hands, make decisions, and score ultimately. And we all know how it ended up going.
So let's take a look at our grades for one young Patrick Williams. Katie, if you want to throw those up there. Wow. Okay. So offensively speaking, we got 2 Fs. I graciously gave him a D. I don't even know why. Maybe it's just because, like,
what is this?
I feel like a teacher who doesn't want to deal with the Patrick Williams problem and just give him a passing grade and pass the buck to someone else.
And this is what's wrong.
If you guys give him F's, he stays in your class, and you got to deal with him again next year.
You got to learn. Oh, man, this is the problem. Oh, man.
Goat and I each have C- for him defensively. Dave, you gave him an F on defense as well. Overall, a D and 2 Fs. Okay, you know, not that we just need to bash this guy, but if you wanted to pinpoint one thing on either side of the ball that really disappointed you the most about what Pat did or did not do this season,
it wasn't on the defensive side.
Okay, so what would that one thing be?
That he did well?
No.
Look at you. You laughed at that. And that says it all right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the F is for. That's what it's for. Yeah, I can pull up the numbers and say, oh, yeah, he was solid defensively. He did some stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I could do that. I have eyes, though. I sat and I watched this all season long. And I watched just one of the saddest things. I was dreading this day. I did not want to come over here and talk about this dude and just go off on him because he's such a good guy. But damn. Shit, man. Look, man. Yo, I sat and I watched that all season long. Like, it looked like he didn't like basketball. And yeah, he did some stuff on the defensive end. Like, yeah, he would stay in front of his man. Yeah, he understood the system. All that stuff, man. But that's just giving, little crumbs and cookies, man. And it's a no excuses tour. I'm not giving you that excuse no more. No, absolutely not. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. We already knew that you was cool defensively. Cool. Did you raise up anything on the defensive numbers? We saw the prove-its. No, you didn't. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just sad. It was just sad to watch, offensively and defensively. You want to hear something from it offensively, Matt?
Yeah.
Because this is what this stuff made me laugh because I was so sad. I watched Julian Phillips have, what was it, 23-9 was his biggest game.
That second to last game of the year, yeah.
Did that against the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, bum team, bum slaying.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Williams, totals against the Wizards, 14 points. Total.
You mean like every time they played
add them up. Add it up. Total. That's what he scored. 14. Dalen Terry, his season high, 17. Who do you do that against? Against the bum Sixers. Sixers were bums, right? You know what I mean? Patrick Williams, 17. Total. Add it all up. That's what he gave you. He had 15 in one game and 2 in another one. And he played like 20-plus minutes in both of those games. No, bro. No, absolutely not. There's no way you getting any C's and D's on here, bro. I'm from a family of educators. We call it like it is. You failed. It was a failure. And I hated watching it, man. And I hate saying this, bro, because damn it, we believe in you. We want you to do good. But damn, that was a failure. Both sides of the ball, for me, it was a complete failure. Cancel the tour.
And anywhere I looked to try to find something, positive about Pat, I was just like, oh, there's another career low. Oh, there's another career low. Oh, there's another career low. He had career low shooting splits on overall field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage this season. He was a sub 40% shooter from the field. We talk about wanting to see Pat be more aggressive, getting to the basket.
Yeah.
4.8% of his total field goal attempts this season were dunks. And of those, he probably only converted around half of them. But just comparatively speaking, Julian Phillips, 15% dunks. Modest, 14% his rookie year, dunks. Percentage of field goal attempts total from 0 to 3 feet, a.k.a. at the rim, fell from 26.7 last year to a career low 21.1% this year.
Nah, man.
Pat had the biggest opportunity he's had in a Bulls jersey, and his aggression fell drastically.
Yes.
2.9 offensive rebounding percentage, another career low. We talk about him creating more of his own shots. 94% of his made threes this year still assisted.
94?
94% of Pat's threes were assisted.
Wow.
Percentage of his made 2-point field goals, nearly 60%.
Assisted?
Yes.
Yo, man. Good God.
I tried to find something encouraging, and I came up with Bupkis.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing about it for me was that
Save me, Will Gottlieb.
it was, no, I gave him enough too. Like,
no, drown.
It's just like the expectations were already lowered, and he still didn't meet them or get anywhere close. Like, it was a really bad season for him all around. I don't think his defensive impact was what it had been in seasons past. Yeah. The 3-point shooting wasn't as good. Yeah. The shot creation was not there. Again, he had more runway and opportunity to do that. And he just didn't feel engaged with the team at any point.
Yes.
And look, I'm not going to speak to his mentality. He was obviously around the team. There was the stretch there where he was hurt and he wasn't around as much. He really is a great person. I enjoy talking with him. He's a nice person.
Agreed.
I do believe that he cares and wants to be better, but it just didn't feel like he engaged. He had this opportunity to take a step forward and he just did not meet the moment at all. And so that was the one where to me it was all these guys, despite their limitations, right? We talk about Giddey and Kobe and Vooch and yes, they have limitations in their game, but they stepped up and they met the moment. They tried to adjust their style of play to fit this system. They stepped into a tough spot with Zach, and then they stepped up again when Zach got traded, and just feel like Pat was just not there.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about not feeling him on the court when you're watching a game, but it just felt like that on the season as a whole. And that was disappointing to watch, but it's also just even contract aside, you don't want to feel like you're just leaving someone behind.
Yeah.
But he's got to help himself. You have to be an active participant in getting yourself out of that hole. And again, it just didn't feel like he was there. So I I was never a big believer in the DeRozan is like suppressing Pat. You know, he handles the ball too much. He's not giving Pat opportunities. Like we'll talk about this with Julian and with Dalen, guys that like find a way to produce and put their impact on a game regardless of who's around them. Pat never really did that when Zach and DeMar and Vooch were there playing together. And by the way, he's been starting that whole time. But even more disappointing when the offense is opened up, there are more driving lanes. It is like imperative that guys shoot or attack closeouts when they get the kick out. And he should be good at that. He should be fine at that. He should be able to but it was like turnovers, dribbling off his foot. It just felt like a regression.
Yeah.
And so like, I totally understand the frustration or like anger at Pat from the fan base. To me, it doesn't feel like that. It was just like more disappointment, I guess.
Yeah.
Katie, did you have a thought before we go to break?
Yeah, I know we're about to hit break. I've been pretty quiet through these player grades because I wasn't here, preseason when you guys made your prove-its, but it's really hard for me to think about Patrick because I don't want to pile on to everybody that's piling onto him. I think he's a really easy target, but the one thing that I think makes you a little bit harder to criticize is effort, and we just didn't see that.
Yeah.
And Matt, like the stats that you were, pulling up there about like where his shots were coming from, like if he had just tried to be more aggressive, even if he missed, even if you took, 15 dunks a night and you missed every single one, hey, you tried. Yeah. And it's a little bit harder for me to criticize you. It's just the lack of effort for me that really got there. And if you try something and you fail, that's something, but I feel like he just really didn't try. Yeah. And he's an easy target, and I do genuinely hope that like he's taking care of himself because I know that's like hard to be criticized by every single person in the same city, but also at the same time, like where was the effort all season?
Yeah.
Just did you break a sweat test? And he failed that test plenty of nights this season.
That was the ruler for me. Like, did he sweat? Oh, he sweat. Okay, great. That's effort.
Hold that thought. We got to knock out a couple ads. We'll come back on the other side. We will give Pat our meathead grades, and then we'll move on to Dalen Terry. Dave needs a hat. Hit the like button. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. What is Sunnyside? Well, it's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. A place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. They're your one-stop shop for all of your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu featuring over 100 different strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. If you're just starting out with this stuff, Sunnyside has expert guidance and brands that they know you'll love and their staff that will help you make those selections, like Good News and Mindy's. Even if you're a pro, a connoisseur, they still have you covered and can help you out with, again, over 100 different strains to choose from. What are you looking for? Some sativa, some indica, maybe a little hybrid action?
Yeah.
Their staff can help you make those picks, including their Wellness Advisors Staff Picks collection. Listen to them. They got some gems that you might not know about. Visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3, not 1, not 2, 3 online purchases. Just use promo code HICHGO when you check out to qualify. Again, that promo code HICHGO. Excluding supplies, Sunnyside Campus Dispensary bright buys every day. Only for 21 and older and Illinois Med card holders.
I just got an email from Baby Joey.
How's Baby Joey doing?
He's great.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's in the south of France right now.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, he's got a place out there, a villa. He said that he is very confused when I get upset. It throws off his equilibrium. I didn't know he even knew that word. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him.
He's got to be what, like 1.5 now?
You know what I mean? He don't like disclosing his age. You know what I'm saying? People might be looking for him. He don't want to say those things. But yeah, he was thrown off because he just didn't understand. He's used to Matt being that way.
Sure, yeah, of course.
But not me, so he never understood.
Didn't understand.
He didn't get it.
Never understood.
Why? K. Why? That's why in Spanish. He didn't get it, y'all. But guess what? Shady Rays feel that same way. And so they said, we're going to give you some cool glasses, make you save money, and still be amazingly awesome. So our friends at Shady Rays are helping you get in the right frame of mind with their premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. It's an independent sunglasses company that's offering that world-class product that's rated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. Over 300,000 people Those sunglasses have durable frames. Those sunglasses have crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for your outdoor. And as this handsome gentleman over here is about to prove to you, your indoor adventiones. But wait, let's say Matt is watching the game and Patrick Williams is there about the three. Bow! Oh, angry, crack, splat, drat. Those glasses are gone. But then he remembered that lost and broken replacements plan, the most insane protection in all of eyewear. So that means he sent those broken glasses back in. And guess what come back in the mail? Right on his face. Boom! Fresh new pair. Ka-ching. Shady Rays. Ka-ching indeed. And if you don't love your shades, you can exchange it for a new pair or return them worry-free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. And the team has always got your back. CHGO viewers and listeners, that's y'all. Go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off those premium polarized shades. Try it for yourself by using that code CHGO. Your ear's nice. Well, that's rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Use that code CHGO. 35% off those premium polarized shades, y'all. Shadyrays.com, where the rays are so shady.
That was so chaotic.
As opposed to normally.
No, but that was like worse than usual.
One long CHGO Bulls.
Yeah.
Wait, can I say one more depressing stat about Patrick?
Of course, yes, you can.
Yes.
1 20-point game this year.
And when did it come, Will, to go Gottlieb?
And it came on April 8th, which was the game where everybody sat against the Cavaliers.
And also, that is game 79.
Game 79.
Just want to point that out to you. 79 on the season.
He also had a game.
It's 82.
Also, in game 74, he had a 0-point game.
An offer.
He had as many 0-point games as he had 20-point games. He had 29 games scoring double figures, and what is that? 34 games scoring less than double figures.
Oh my goodness,
disgusting.
And again, I'm not like in the camp of like pile on Pat.
Yeah,
Pat stinks, all that stuff. Like I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
But at the same point, like Patrick is better than this.
Yes.
And I think there is more there. I don't know what the answer is to get it out of him. Maybe it's just a trade. But here's the thing, like everybody's like trade Patrick. Right now his contract is an albatross. Like nobody is going to want it. He has one of the worst contracts in the league right now. Being paid $18 million with a player option for a guy that like lost his spot to a rookie. That was not like an important piece of the Bulls offense when they were bad or good. And yeah, he's still too young and too physically talented, and has shown us too much to believe that was what Patrick is going to be for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
But it really is on him now to prove that wrong.
Yes.
To have this be, to make sure that this is the low point.
So you're saying no excuses, Will?
There were already no excuses. Now it's like, figure it out. Like you gotta get it.
Yeah. Fish in the comments saying we were all on Pat train for years. Such a disappointment. And yeah, some of us on the show were still trying to be supportive and believing in Pat coming into this season.
Yeah.
New environment, new situation with the team. Some of the departures from the roster that Goat was alluding to, but now it's just it is what it is. Let's get to our meathead grades for Pat, and then we'll move to Dalen. Katie, I saw a big old Dave with just another. Woo! But before we get to Dave's, just mine real quick. I'll just tell you because it goes along with what Fish was saying in the comments on like us believing in Pat.
Okay.
Done defending you. My expectations were low coming into the season for Pat, but there was some opportunity there for him to show us that. I even thought after that contract was signed, this could end up being a value contract for the Bulls. At sub $20 million average annual salary for a player as young as Pat is, and could theoretically still be a quality two-way player in this league. Take some of the toughest defensive assignments on a nightly basis, knock down your open threes, and show us just a bit more of something else as far as your offensive creation. And that contract could be a decent contract for the Bulls.
That's what we thought.
But he fell so grossly short of my modest expectations for him that I am never again. I am done defending you, Patrick Williams. It's done. It's over. You are dead to me. Good luck. You're dead to me.
That kind of plays into what my meathead grade was. Kate, if you can put it back up there. It's kind of what mine was.
We rooted for you. Mm-hmm. We were all rooting for you.
That's right. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Shout out Tyra.
Shout out Tyra. We all wanted you to be just serviceable. And we lowered expectations, it felt like, every year, which is why I said, well, this is a no excuses tour. That's exactly why I said it for this season. I can't continue to lower the expectations of it. We just felt like looking at you, and I've said this 1,000 times about Patrick Williams, just looking at a silhouette of Patrick Williams, you would say that is a true, for real basketball player for today's game. Look at the frame, look at the muscles, look at the size. You know, the athleticism that you had, all of that stuff that you had, and being able to defend. We know you can do stuff offensively. So to go from that to just like, do you even care about basketball? Or are you even playable anymore? Like, to watch your job be taken away, like you said, by a rookie, and it was the right move that we felt should have been made earlier.
Correct.
That
was the third
problem.
or fourth time that he's lost his starting job due to his lack of performance.
Correct. And then you'll come out, and it got so easy to predict. We'll watch him come out and try in the first, few plays, and if it didn't work, then that's the last time we would see you. It's just, it was disappointing. It was a failure of a season. I truly do hope you get better, because guys like Matt and somewhat of me are just kind of done, with this support. I still hope that you can be a serviceable basketball player, like for real. I really do hope that, man, because I don't like speaking this way about you. But, man, we got to go with what we see at some point in time.
All right. Goat, your meathead grade, what do we got?
SMH.
Just
disappointment.
Yeah. Boof. Yeah.
Just disappointment.
Just disappointing, man.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Just disappointing.
Let's put a pin in that bummer for now, but he still is under contract for 4 more years, including that good old player option. He is undoubtedly in AK's vision, 9 to 10, because who's trading for him? He has to be. Let's talk now about young Dalen Terry in his 3rd NBA season. I think we saw some strides in some ways from Dalen this season. Let us just begin by taking a look at what we gave him grades-wise. Okay, so we're all in the same ballpark offensively, and really, same ballpark, a B-, a couple of B-, and a C for Dalen overall. A couple of B's, even a B+ defensively. I think Dalen, metrics-wise and estimated plus-minus-wise, came out as one of the couple of Bulls on the net side, on the plus side of net positive, didn't he, Goat?
He did, and he was, I thought, just by the eye test, one of the best defenders on the team. I thought Io was a little bit below where he has been in the past. This year, obviously, had the injury. Lonzo looked great at times when he was out there. Patrick, as we just talked about, I thought took a step back this year, but Dalen really was like the primary guard defender in a lot of those, especially late season lineups where he was getting more minutes, the activity, the length, really able to disrupt smaller guards. So I was very encouraged by his play on that end. And then offensively, I thought he got better. His shot looked a lot better. He was making more threes. I think he ended up more than doubling the amount of total made threes that he had in his first 2 years combined, 35% on a 1.4 threes. Definitely, we'll take that from Dalen. And
he made 24 combined threes his rookie year and second season. He made 37 threes this year.
Yeah, 104 attempts, which is even more encouraging because he's just not afraid to get them up. So really liked what I saw from him. I think he's still got a lot of room to grow, the ball handling, the decision making.
Yeah.
But you could see the pace getting a little bit slowed down to him. He understood his role. And when talking to him, I feel like he really described what he was supposed to be doing with more clarity than he has in the past. So I definitely think it's taken a while for him because I think the shot was holding him back so much, but he's starting to get to a point where he could be a rotation player. And that's a huge step forward for him. I mean, he barely played his first 2 years.
That's true. That was a mistake on my part, not Katie's part, my part, because I was going to change that C to a B-, and I just didn't do it. I forgot to do it, I should say. So I honestly had him down as a B- defensively because I was no, I remember him being really solid, defensively in a lot of games, even when his offense wasn't working. I just remember him oh, man, look at how he's getting after it. And it wasn't just grit. And it wasn't just effort. It was actual skill with that as well. And one of the great things that he does is once that turnover happens, once he's in transition, and he was drafted on this as well. Once he was in transition, it's awesome to watch. Like, even when he has the ball or he doesn't, like, everything kind of clicks for him at that point in time, which is why I gave him the C, you know what I'm saying, for the offense, because his three-point shot was the main thing that I think was being harped on as far as the things that could take him to another level of his game, as far as even just being out there on the floor. If you hit a few threes, that'll keep you out there on the floor, because they definitely need your defensive presence, you know, and your IQ as well, which is why Billy started trusting him, you know, for ball handling and, you know, running the play from the top of the key and things like that. So kudos to Billy also for giving some trust in young Dalen Terry as well. But that three-point shooting changed everything for him. I thought that he did a really good job of that. You saw it because he started shooting it with confidence, and it didn't stop because he struggled early on with that three-point shot. He struggled early on, but it didn't stop. Once he found out that corner three was the one, oh yeah, it was on. It was on after that for young Dalen Terry. So I was really proud of what he grew to offensively, and that's great to hear that stuff, Will, like when he's having conversations about offense, knowing what he's talking about out there on the floor. That means it's slowing down for you, and you're getting better. That is awesome to hear.
Andrew in the comments saying, I called it last offseason, wanted DT to shoot more threes because we saw it getting better. And as Go pointed out, the total number of attempts. That is true. However, as far as his three-point attempt rate, it actually went down from last season, which you love the fact that he improved his three-point percentage by 12.5 points. He went from 23% on his threes last season, which is like laugh gross, to 35.5%, which is respectable.
Yeah.
Respectable. But the three-point attempt rate fell from 47.1 to 38.8. And that was my one kind of harping thing with Dalen, and to his credit, improved three-point percentage this season, is his overall shot chart. Like, okay, he still shot over, I think, what? So 38.8% of his total shots were threes. 36.6% of his total shots were at the rim. I'm fine with that. He basically did not take any shots from 10 feet to the three-point line.
That's true.
2.2% in that area of the floor. But Dalen took 22.5% of his shots from 3 to 10 feet, and he only hit those at a rate of 38.3%. I don't recall off the top of my head a bunch of gross Dalen floaters that we were watching him take all season, and I guess I'm thankful I don't remember, because I went and looked at those. I was like, wait, hold on, nearly a quarter of all Dalen shots came from 3 to 10 feet, and he bricked most of them? Yeah. What is that? Yeah. So when you're talking about how Dalen can contribute to this team offensively, on top of, hey, he's looking like a solid defensive role player in this league.
Yeah.
You like the fact that he took a huge jump in his efficiency behind the three-point line, but figure out the rest of your shot chart, man.
Well, I think that comes from, I mean, we talked about this back to like his first summer league. Like, he's just not quite good enough ball handling and not quite good enough in terms of his physicality to get all the way downhill. And so when teams aren't really closing out hard to him, he ends up having to either like dribble into a mid-range shot because he can't get all the way downhill, or he turns it over or passes it out. So I think that's an area where he, like I said, can continue to improve. You definitely don't want such a high percentage of your shots being in that range, especially if you're not good at them. I don't have as much of a problem with the three-point attempt rate going down, just because like he's not great at that either, and I think he needs to be more intentional about which ones he takes. But if you're not going to be taking those threes, then you have to be driving, and like you can't be settling. And so I think that's a big area for me where he can keep getting better.
I like that his free throw percentage also got better. He was 58% last year. He's 71 this year.
That was a pretty substantial jump
form
as well.
Looks so much better. If you were to put it side by side from his rookie year, it's still a little bit of a hitch, but like it looks so much cleaner. It's so much more repeatable. I see him working on it every single day, like before games. And he really gets on himself. Like this goes into my overall grade for him being a little bit higher. I can't remember exactly what I put, but like he just is one of the few guys on this team that's like really a dog, that like really competes, that's really kind of got some nasty to him. He's like the one guy that will like after a whistle, if somebody shoots it, he'll try to like knock it out of the rim before it goes in. Bulls just don't have any guys like that. And so I appreciate that attitude, because you got to have it somewhere.
And just the other thing I wanted to note with Dalen defensively, when we've talked about his potential on that side of the ball, you also, one of the things you knocked Dalen for is fouls. Like playing good, solid, like physical in a way defense around the perimeter, and even taking some tougher assignments of guys who are bigger than him, more muscular than him, and defend without fouling. His fouls per 100 did improve a little bit from 5.9 last season. He got it down to 5.4 this season. In other words, per 36 minutes, he committed 4.3 last season, 4.2 this season. So I would like to still see that come down a little bit, because
that's a big one, because like Billy needed to play him more. They needed a guard defender, but he would have games where he just fouled too aggressively. And I actually think that, like, especially when you are playing smaller minutes the way he was earlier on his career, if you pick up a foul or two in 2 minutes of garbage time, that will really boost your foul rate. And so the longer you're out there, for that to go down, I think that speaks volumes to his ability to just get it under control a little bit. It's not quite as egregious as it used to be, although I totally agree, Matt, that needs to be like that's what's going to put him on the floor is his defense, and it's also what's going to take him off if he can't.
Bingo. So with that, let's take a look at our meathead grades for the whirling dervish, Dalen Terry. Dave, is that F your couch? FYC?
My mic was off when I said it.
Okay. When I see those three letters, that's the first thing I think of.
And that's why you're awesome. But it's not what that was. It should have been now, because that would have went towards goon grades and stuff. Truly meathead. But it means find your consistency. So that's exactly what you guys were talking about here.
Okay.
Because you want to find what are you consistently really, truly good at on both sides of the floor. We know what you can do defensively, but like Matt said, it's a little fouling a little too aggressively. We got to find that consistency for you. On the offensive end, is it you're just going to be the guy who shoots the threes, from the corner, or are you going to be the drive and kick guy, or are you going to be a guy who sets up everything on the offense and doesn't really shoot? Whatever it is, you have to find that consistency of it. We have to know what we're getting out of Dalen Terry every time he steps on the floor. And I'm sure Billy wants to know that too. It can't just be, a wild card every time you throw it out there. Like, oh, man, we don't know what's going to happen. And that's only because his skill isn't to that point yet where you're like, well, it's acceptable to be that wild card. With wild cards, I'm thinking like a Draymond Green. I'm thinking like a Dennis Rodman. But you know what you were going to get from those dudes consistently as far as on the defensive end and sometimes the offensive end. So it's just about finding that consistency. And I think he will, man, because like Go says, man, that's a dog right there. That's one of the reasons I loved him when they picked him so much. So it's because he got that in him, and he hates everybody, and he just wants to be better. You need that kind of stuff on your team, man. So once he finds that consistency, you're going to see a much, much better player.
Goat, I feel like I may have had a guess on your meathead grade for Dalen, KGDT. Keep gooning, Dalen Terry?
Keep going, Dalen Terry.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Oh,
keep going, DT.
Keep going was my first guess, but then I changed it because I wanted it to be keep gooning.
Yeah, you had that like count, so you did that one. So yeah.
But I just felt like, in contrast to Patrick, like you really felt him this season. You felt his progress. You felt the areas where he was, I thought, limited or weak in his game, improve his physicality. I mean, he just put on a lot of muscle. He's more physical this year. His defense was much better. The shot improving the way that it did, both in terms of form and percentages, speaks to his work ethic and to his desire to continue improving. So for me, it's just like, keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to continue to carve out more of a role. I liked yours a lot, Dave, just being more consistent with it too. That's going to help him find more of a place on this team. I think he's still a ways away from being like, a 18-minute a night for 75, 80 games type of rotation player. But he's like one step away from that right now, I feel. So I'm excited about what he can turn into next year.
And did see a jump of 11.5 to 13.5 minutes per game this season. And, credit to him, did play 73 games.
I think a lot of that was probably garbage time last year, right?
Yes.
And now it's like he was playing in meaningful minutes. It's a big jump.
Let's see if I can remember what my goon was. Oh, yeah, okay. This is just about his off-season to-do list.
Shoot all shots. Hit and shoot all shots.
Handles and shots all summer.
Yeah, okay.
Go. Right. You pointed out his handles a few minutes ago as part of one of the things that could be holding Dalen back is a multi-tool offensive weapon for the Bulls in their running gun system. because we've seen at times that he could be a pretty heady playmaker in transition.
Yeah.
3.5 assists per 36 for Dalen this season. I'll take that.
Solid. Yeah.
He also just has that, that handle. It's a little too high. It's a little too loose still, and it can get him into trouble in those situations where Dalen finds himself being the ball handler in a spot on the floor where he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So keep working on those handles. If he can get them a little bit tighter and more confident with them, then maybe we see him improve in certain ways as a playmaker, and then just keep getting those shots up. Please keep working on that for him.
I also thought he was really good at his layup package was really solid too. Yeah. I remember him making some really, really difficult layups once he would get to the lane and get to the bucket. So I hope that continues to grow as well.
JP, Julian Phillips. Let's go.
Do you want to do Julian, or do you want to save Julian for tomorrow?
Well, where are we at time-wise?
We have about 7 minutes left.
We can do it.
Okay.
We can hustle through.
Let's
we got to go a couple minutes long. We can. I know we got Hawks around the corner. So let's look at Julian Phillips, y'all. Okay. I like how Dave has been using some pluses and minuses in his grades. We were all so close to giving Julian Phillips the exact same overall grade of a B-, but Dave added another minus to his minus. A C+ and a couple of B- on offense, a couple of B- and a C+ on defense. So we all feel like very similarly about the season we watched Julian Phillips have.
Yeah.
What was the thing that stood out to you guys most as far as I liked this growth I saw from Julian, or this is what I still want from Julian?
It was like growth by the book.
Yeah.
It was like growing a plant. Like
success within the box.
Yes. Oh my God. Right there. It was just really good to watch, him do that. Like you're watching it grow. And it's just a normal way you would watch an NBA player grow. Oh, what do you need to work on? Well, your handles need to get better. Oh, well, your three-point shot needs to be more consistent. Oh, you need to find a way to stay on the floor. And I watched him improve all of these things, like everything he did. And then he found his consistency. He found out I am Mr. 50-50, or as Matt better calls him, DJJJ. Like he knows I'm going to be that guy going after that loose ball. I'm going to try to get these tip dunks. I'm going to use my athleticism as a weapon on both ends of the floor. And you saw it just come to fruition so many times to where when he put up the 23-9 against the Wizards, it was just really impressive to see because he did it from the three-point line as well. So, yeah, everything he did this season I just thought was true growth in Julian Phillips, man. It just made me excited for his future.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I feel like he really – whereas Dalen, I think – not that he was confused about what his role would be, but it was a little bit more complex with how his skill set fit into what they were asking of him. Yeah. With Julian, I think his skill set it's a very clean fit with what they need him to do. Get to the corner, shoot threes when you're open, attack the offensive glass, attack closeouts when you have a hard closeout coming, or get off the ball quickly and defend. And he does all those things. I think he got incrementally better as the season progressed. It wasn't like you saw him have a bunch of 30-point games and then out of the rotation. It was incremental, slow improvement every single day. And that's a real rarity, I think, in this league. We say a lot improvement is not linear, but for him, I felt like he just got better. Yeah. And so I felt more and more comfortable with him as a rotation piece. I think Billy had to kind of juggle him and Dalen together, especially when everybody was healthy, of just who was going to get those backup 3 minutes. But there was more often than not, he was the guy that Billy went to because I think he was a little bit more consistent than Dalen. So only 32.7% on threes, needs to improve that. But I really enjoyed the offensive rebounding for him. I really enjoyed his ability to just play a role. I think if he can continue to improve defensively and get that 3-point percentage up, I think he can be a player.
Yeah, his offensive rebounding percentage increased from 4.1 his rookie year to 6.4 this season. You like to see that jump. And not just offensive rebounds, but I feel like Julian was one of the guys I saw more frequently throughout the entire season in a Bulls jersey, winning and competing for 50-50 balls. I don't feel like the Bulls are a particularly strong team in that regard. And when you're talking about a team that wants to capitalize on transition opportunities, 50-50 balls and winning those is a big part of that. And I think Julian deserves some credit for the way that he was hustling around the floor this season. You mentioned his 32.7% from three-goat. Obviously, we know, as Dave, you were talking about DJJ in that comp, most comfortable from the corners. He took 58% of his total three-point attempts from the corners last season. That went up to 66% this season. And to his credit, he knocked down 40.6% of those corner threes. But when you then realize overall he was just 32.7% from three. That tells you, well, if he hit 40% from the corners, that means that 34 or so percent of his non-corner threes were a pretty woeful, conversion rate if his overall percentage is 32 and change. So can we see Julian build his confidence and efficiency taking threes from other spots on the floor that aren't the corners? That's another step of growth I'd like to see.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree.
All right, so we got some goon, some meathead grades for Julian.
Yeah.
Meathead grades, like K2BP, something. Bobby Portis, batting practice.
Luka.
Yeah, Luka.
Like Katie.
It was low-key second best prospect.
Wow. Okay.
It's kind
second
of,
best prospect behind Modest Buzelis.
Kind of more of a question, but I just feel like we kind of said like success within the box. Like you can see him fitting into a role where he's like playing a rotation on a team that's good as like the fifth starter who defends, who's an athlete, who gets after it defensively, and who makes open corner threes. You don't ask him to do very much with the ball in his hands. Maybe there's more there. We don't know yet, but I just feel like it's easy. It's more easy for me to envision him being a piece of a successful team than just about any other prospect on this team aside from maybe Modest.
I think that's fair. That's going to do it for those of you watching our streaming services. If you want to catch that bonus coverage, the overtime, just head to allchgo.com. I think that is a fair evaluation, Goat. That
not necessarily in the sense that like I think he's got the most star potential, but just like potential to play a role.
Yes, exactly. A useful player,
role
on a good team. And it might just be a useful role player on a good team, but because of the skill set, because of his frame, and I think the motor we saw him play with this season, that is the piece that you can still be excited about.
And that's what's cool. Like basically another team might be looking at Julian Phillips. They know exactly what they're going after when they look at Julian Phillips.
Yeah, I think
they want to get that prospect.
And he's making almost nothing. Like he could be a valuable trade asset, or he could be a valuable piece that you keep around as a cheap rotation guy that could actually be a part of your team.
Yeah.
And when, we were talking about Dalen a minute ago and his defensive prowess and some growth there this season. And I think you could say the same for Julian. Yeah. Took on some really tough assignments throughout the season. And much like Dalen, doesn't quite have the frame to be like, can you hold your own against some of these stronger guys in the league? To Julian's credit, his personal fouls per 36 dropped a whole point. 4.5 this season, last season, 3.5 this season. So he was still, taking some of those tough defensive assignments and got a lot better about not fouling in the process. So hopefully we can see that trend continue. A couple other meathead grades for Julian as we wrap up here. We got Dave, YGAAPIFTW.
You always have like the
Dave's
many letters.
War and Peace novels. I like it. You're gonna average another Patrick for the win.
Your growth as a player is fun to watch.
Oh, I like that.
That's it.
Nice.
Like I really just like his growth, man, as a player out there. Like Will said, it's really in the box and it's really structured, and it's how you kind of want young NBA players to kind of grow and excel to, especially those prospects that Will was mentioning. Like second round guy, that's what you kind of want to see. It was like watching Ayo Dosunmu's, you know what I'm saying? Like you saw what you saw in that first year, and then you just saw it improve and improve and improve and improve and keep going and get better. And sometimes, growth, you know what I'm saying, it isn't linear, man. Like sometimes it's, go this way and this way. His has been straight, you know what I mean, smooth. It's like you told him what the one thing was he needs to work on, and he just went out and did just immediately that. And that's why it's a pleasure to sit and watch, because it's also self-awareness, knowing what you don't do well on the floor or what you feel you can improve on, and then attacking it and attacking it and attacking it until it breaks and you get better at it. And that's how you earn your playing time out there and the trust from your coaches.
Yeah, just understanding what his role needs to be. And I think Matt's Matt's special boy.
I know that sweet special boy.
Still Matt's special boy.
Yeah. Still my special boy.
Yeah.
Still my special boy. Obviously, Modest won over a large part of my Bulls fan heart this season.
Yeah.
And was obviously very excited and eager to watch his growth and was clamoring for Modest minutes early on.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, as much as Modest was the fun new toy for Bulls fans in a lot of ways this season. I have never stopped believing in Julian Phillips' potential to be, as Go was just kind of saying, not the savior of this franchise in any way, not a superstar caliber player or even a star caliber player in any way, but just a good role player to have around if he continued to grow the parts of his game that I liked when I was watching him coming out of college and in his limited role as a rookie. So, yes, he is still my special boy. There's plenty of room in my heart for him and Modest because Patrick Williams has been officially booted out of there. You're gone.
I still went outside and gave him something to eat.
Well, that's very kind of you.
You can't come in the house, man.
Did you get him a ticket on the van out of town?
No van yet, but he hears that motor. He definitely hears the motor.
He's still here.
Smells the exhaust fumes.
He's still here.
Yeah, it's around. Just saying, it's around.
He needs a van ride to AK's for dinner though.
You know what I need?
A tank spin?
Tank spin.
Let's do it.
Give that man what he needs.
He knows
Scratching.
it. We got enough likes today.
We got enough likes. Spin.
Katie has it ready to go.
Huge.
Got to do the reset, of course.
Okay, let me just move a couple things.
1 week from tonight.
1 week from tonight, the Bulls will find out that they are drafting.
Okay, you guys can see, right? You're good.
We got it.
All right, I'm resetting.
We're going to do a reset.
There it is.
And a big old spinny spin.
Wow.
Stayed at 12 with Hornets, Portland, Utah, San Antonio doing wow, so the Spurs jumped top 4 there.
Sorry.
Wow, Portland up there.
Who'd you take 3 if you were who'd you take, I guess, Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe for San Antonio? That'd be
VJ Edgecombe most likely.
Yeah, whichever one's still on the board, depending on who Utah would take at 3.
Yeah, Washington.
Well, it's okay. We're gonna get all of the unlucky spins out of the way in our shows, so that when a week from tonight, when the real lottery happens, they'll get lucky. Speaking of which, I did see that news. I think it was KC who had it first. The Bulls rep will be their number 11 pick from last year, Modest Buzelis.
Sounds good.
Sitting at that podium
I like it.
for the Bulls. Bring us that good luck, Modest. And speaking of draft lotteries, the NHL's is tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And our CHGO Hawks crew is here to do a live show for that. I believe 6 p.m. Central start time. Okay. So keep it locked right here on that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Hopefully we get some luck for the Blackhawks tonight. And then on top of CHGO Blackhawks draft lottery special tonight, we've got post game for CHGO Cubs and CHGO White Sox.
That's right.
Still plenty on deck.
Hottest team in Chicago,
for
the
all
White
y'all
Sox,
out
baby.
there.
Let's
there
go.
You go.
Let's go.
Good job, Jerry.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
We will be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central Time. Same time, same place. In the meantime, follow Gottlieb, read his stuff, allchgo.com. Fresh mailbag that just dropped earlier today, courtesy of the diehards in that
some really good
Discord.
Questions in there.
Go give it a read. Become a diehard if you haven't yet, so that you can read it. And Big Dave is a bow on bold _ Peck Bow Sports.
Underscore.
I'm bow _ Peck.
Okay, who won the poll, Katie?
Oh yeah, Dave ran away with the poll.
That's what I would have expected.
That's what I voted for.
Question
who would look
was,
the best at a Met Gala appearance?
Look. Dave was the runaway winner. The second place was none, all bad. And then Will and Matt was in last place.
Matt was in last?
Yeah.
They don't like the Burks?
I was going to say, I would show up, if forced to go, I would show up to the Met Gala in cargo shorts and perks. Probably a tank top.
Oh, they would hate you so
some people appreciate this fashion.
I can hear you get yelled at.
Oh, my goodness.
That'd be the best.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for the likes. Appreciate y'all, Bulls Nation. Shout out to our Queen of the Control, Katie Duffy. We will be back tomorrow. Talk to you then. Have a great night. Enjoy the playoff hoops.
Jeez.
2 game ones.
Love.
Joe Christier, let's
God
go.
Bless.
See you right
Out.
We all silly like the mayor.